I got a lot of heat.
A lot of heat from the audience.
There's a lot of work to undo that. What you've done.
But it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back with these beautiful people. We're going to go around and see how everyone
We've all got our blankets.
We have. I've got my little blanket.
It is cold in
It
the
looks like a jumper I own, actually.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's cold in the TSN arena, and I think that's important. I think the only way we'll know how to work. The cold reminds me to work harder.
Yes.
It's like, this is how I could live as an old man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a survival thing.
It's like being back in the Victorian era. Because I was there.
Yeah.
Smelting in the ice age.
One of 16 children. Hopefully 5 would survive.
Yeah.
Who were friends with Louise and her pickpocket gang.
Yeah, fingerless gloves.
Oh my God, I love fingerless gloves. Are you kidding? I love them.
Why?
Because I used to have Jack Skeleton fingerless gloves.
Okay.
Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me.
Bone hands.
I'd like to know what everyone watching thinks. Do you want a full glove or like whatever the hell?
I want one finger.
Where you got no dexterous
that's no
ability.
fingers. I don't want a mitten.
I want gloveless fingers. I want just nubbins on the end.
Just like little thimbles on your fingers.
Just little long thimbles.
I don't want that.
So I can smack my palm on things like buttons.
That's a thing. Sure, that's a thing. It's got to be a thing. I think Rob's powered down. Let's boot him back up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Juggz. Yes, the video. I apologise about the video last time.
I don't.
And then I hope you all enjoyed our drawings.
Oh, yes.
Can we talk about how good Can we talk about Rob's original drawing?
No. Did I not see the original
okay.
drawing? No.
Okay. So here, we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
We're going to put it on the screen.
Yeah.
So Rob's eventual drawing was a picture of me in my true form, which is a little hamster with a bow.
Yes.
And I was really proud. So Rob has a little...
As in a compound bow for shooting baddies?
Yes.
Cool.
But also a little one in its hair. So Rob has a little bit of trauma when it comes to drawing. I don't know if you know this.
No.
Shall I tell the story?
You can tell the story.
So when Rob was a little baby boy, little baby Rob, which makes me cry because it's so cute and adorable, little baby Rob has quite
Peachy's just seen the picture.
I'm waiting for it to...
TLDR, little baby Rob did a bit of artwork for his teacher and she said it wasn't good enough, so he had to do it again. Okay, we'll get round to the picture. And then Rob did it again, and what happened?
No, I just spent the whole night trying to do a drawing, and I couldn't do it. I was crying because I'm a kid. And then I went into the school the next day. I was like, here's my drawing. And she went, you've obviously not tried very hard. Detention.
How horrible is that?
But that's how I learned. Cold gives you strength.
Oh,
that's where I learned it.
That's so sad for baby Rob.
I've never cried since.
So Rob drew...
Just dried all the tears out. It won't let me download it, Rob. I can't see it.
I firmly stick.
It's somewhat pornographic.
Is it?
That's why I'm also firmly stuck with my my catchphrase. Art sucks.
So anyway, so Rob had to draw a picture of me, and he was a little bit shy and a little bit ashamed.
So he went with big boobs.
This is because last week the hard drive broke, so we were unable to. The hard drive broke, so we were unable to put the video up. I'm sorry about that. It's just there's just a cable, and it just didn't work. Right now it says it's working. So
we'll see. We'll fuck around and find out.
And then we wanted to put it up because it was a really great episode. I thought
it was.
It's really good.
It's like Bart Simpson.
No, shut up.
No, not Bart. What's his sister? Not Maggie. Not
Lisa.
The older one. Lisa.
Okay, so I'd like to draw attention.
Oh, I don't know why this is why we're starting. I might just edit this out.
It's so good. I've never seen anything like it.
I am going to edit this out. You can talk about it for 5 minutes. So it'll never happen.
My favorite element is that
your hair looks nothing like that.
No, because it sometimes does.
Peach? I tried a little hard on that.
When I'm going really fast downwards, when I go really quickly downwards, it does look like that. I like the dislocated leg, but most of all, I like that one of my only identifying features is titties. And as someone who isn't particularly well endowed, I love that Rob's like, yeah, you know what I like about her?
Big
titties.
boobs.
Titties. And I was like,
and your nice hair.
It looks like she's been dragged through a hedge.
It's nice hair. I was really like nice hair.
I love that. I'm like, oh, you are attracted to me because he drew me and nothing resembles me, but he still gave me big old titties.
And Louise, my internal policeman, has just told me that maybe we're not doing Rob's self-confidence for drawing many favours right now.
Yeah, this is helping.
No, I love
Years
it.
later, Mrs. Whatever her name was.
Where was she during school picture day? Oh, it's good.
Peachy, what inspired your drawing?
What inspired my drawing of you?
Yeah.
It looks like Rob.
It was the hat, the hair. What annoyed me was it wasn't until after, because I thought I'm going to do a paintbrush in his hands. I'm going to do a paintbrush in his hands because he is the master of painting videos.
He is.
As content creators go in the world, he's done a pretty viral one. But I forgot to put Weasel on it. What the fuck?
Weasel G.
On it?
For Weasel G.
For Weasel G.
Should have come
Weasel
back.
G.
Make a comeback.
Make a comeback, Weasel G.
Maybe that's why he's pointing. Maybe he's sent it off to like get at someone's throat.
Yeah, there you go. I thought I'm voting yours as the most accurate.
Yeah, yours was good.
Yours
was good.
I don't want to say the
you
best.
took the speech bubble out, so you know.
Did just because
It's a bit of a spicy
a little bit of
time.
editing, a little bit of management.
You do notice I left a gap so you could easily.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that a lot.
I would have attached it to his forehead.
Part of his shirt.
But I vote Peachy's for the most artistic. Rob's definitely the best.
I
Oh
wouldn't
no!
say
'Cause
artistic.
after my initial drawing was rejected by the audience.
It was not rejected. I said it was really good. I said I liked the dislocated leg, the fact I was falling, and the titties.
Okay, perfect.
It was-
And then I redrew Louise's to be a little mouse.
Little mouse.
A little mouse.
with dead eyes.
From TikTok.
Okay, the eyes were beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't listen to him.
Thank you. There's a little
They've seen
mouse.
shit.
There's a little mouse on TikTok that makes a noise that goes. Meh. It's basically
It's a sad girlfriend meme.
It's the encapsulation. Like the internet has created like the personification of patheticness and sadness. Yeah, as a little mouse.
And it's got a little bow, and the meme is that it's like the boyfriend will be at work, like in like a I don't know, like
fighting a fire.
Yeah.
fighting
Yeah.
a fire, and then the girlfriend calls him, and she's and
Can you give me
he's like,
Starbucks?
no, and he's like, oh, I'm a bit busy, babe. Can this wait? And she's like, do you even like me anymore? And that's me. It is me because Rob will be like, I'm streaming. Is this important? And I'm like, yes. When you woke up, the first thing you said was in a slightly tone. Does that mean you hate?
Would you love me if I was a worm?
Oh, literally.
All the
I
time.
get so annoyed when people are like, no. It's like, she's not going to be a worm.
Yeah.
You can just say-
say yes.
Well, stamp
like,
on you.
She's
Wow.
Peachy.
Wow.
Unless they're into that.
No.
Peachy. This is the thing. Like, boyfriends, if you're watching this and your girlfriend's asked, would you love me if I'd be a worm? Just fucking say yes.
No.
She's not going to turn into a worm.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. She's not
But
going
if she
to.
did, you're going to have to love it.
I think Louise is arguing that you lie to your partners. I would never do that.
What would you
But
love?
I would just become a worm.
Genuinely,
Nice.
Rob.
Nice.
If I was a worm,
Yeah.
let's get this out the way
Yeah.
now. Like, actually, factually, if I was a worm, first of all, would I be a pretty worm?
Yeah.
And second,
You'd have titties.
just draw sellotape some titties onto it. And secondly,
I feel the start of this podcast has been mainly titty central, which is weird
Oh.
because A, it's not normally this much, and B, the podcast is called Juggz. So I'm like, is this right? Is this wrong?
You're avoiding the question, would you love me if I was a worm? And would I be hot?
Louise, how could I ever not love you? That's the answer.
I mean,
There
I've
you
got to
go.
throw in, I used to own a wormery and I love my worms. I did love my worms.
You had
One
a
was called-
wormery?
I had a wormery when I was a child.
What's a
Okay,
wormery?
I had a wormery too. I think all kids who were
Yeah.
a little bit weird got given wormeries.
Yeah.
I had an ant
They had
one
names.
too.
I did Indiana Jones was one of
that's
them.
quite good.
There was one called Nicholas who was really big and had a massive, like one of those saddle things that you get
Oh
on them.
yeah, like the little
Yeah, I don't know what
rings
it's
on them.
called.
Yeah.
There was Peter. There was William.
I had pet snails for a very long time.
Snails.
Snizzy Rascal.
Snizzy Rascal.
One time I was out playing with my pet snails.
Yeah.
No.
And I dropped one of them in the fountain that
Yeah.
we had in our back garden. And I cried and I cried and I cried. Bear in mind, I was like 11 or something.
Do you know when I was 8, I accidentally killed Indiana because I was playing on, the original
Your
plastic
worm?
rhino. And
Indy.
it was sunny and I was playing with him on the rhino.
Just had my magnifying glass and
No,
it was
the
a
on the
sunny-
right-
The
Wait,
sun was hot and he baked
Wait,
and dried
the
out.
rhino?
They're so
What do you mean
crusty.
rhino?
You know,
Lino?
Rhino, as in like Games Workshop original, like rhino.
Yeah, like a metal-
No, the plastic, the
Oh,
original
was it
plastic
not metal
one.
in the time?
No, like the 80, you
Sorry.
had a plastic box set of them.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I've died.
Indiana,
Right?
Indiana Jones the worm was playing with a 1989 version Plastic Games Workshop Rhino and died because he baked to death.
Dehydrated to death.
What are you not understanding?
I killed a worm. I killed Indiana and I feel bad.
But my snail survived. I found out my snail was aquatic and it crawled up to me and it took so long. If you imagine the scene where like the dog is running towards you, but it took 4 hours. That was
I'd like to.
then she had babies with the other snails.
I'd like everyone to know that this is the end of the podcast. This is all 11 minutes of the show. This is just a special bumper episode we've recorded.
What weird pets? You had a rabbit.
Yeah, when I was older. I didn't have any when we were young. We don't get pet worms. We just got sent outside until it was dark.
And then call back in for food.
Yeah.
If you
sent back out after food.
And then Rob tries to express himself creatively and gets detention. Jesus, what a dark life. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
And I thought snouting was bad.
Yeah, I mean, you both suffered what sounds to be like
I got
some
my
like
snail
Enid
back.
Carroll level horror as well.
I learnt responsibility.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, not to play with snails in fountains.
No,
but
exactly.
then my snail apparently...
Or worms in the sun.
Worms in a sun, snails in a fountain. Those are our two bands.
Yeah.
Please, if you're watching this, ask yourself how you would try to move this conversation on. Just pause it right here and say to yourself, just pause the video and say, what will Rob say next? What would I say next?
But yeah, I used to have pet snails.
Yeah.
I had loads of them. I loved them very much and they lived very happy lives.
I had an antaray as well. And
I had an antaray.
I did drop that.
It didn't go as well because I think it's like unethical to have the gel ones. I don't recommend the gel antaries anymore.
No, I didn't have a gel one. I just had a plastic
I had a
box.
gel
Wait,
one.
yeah, you just dropped the antaray.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
house.
for fuck's sake, Peachy.
What the hell? What were you doing?
I was clumsy.
Just touching it to a rhino again.
I was taken outside to play in the sun.
I had a fish that would
to
jump.
fight the worms.
I had a fish that would jump out of its tank.
Oh,
Like, if-
yeah, they do that when they're mating.
Oh my God, he wasn't mating. He was just.
We lost Marvin, the fish.
No,
I know.
Marvin.
Marvin was my favourite. We had 2 little ponds when I was first moving to Spondon. And we had a big pond that had like 4 goldfish in it, a small pond.
Maybe some snails. Maybe some snails.
There
Who
was some
knows?
snails in it. And then we had another pond. We had 2 tiny fish. They were very antisocial. And then we wanted to get rid of that and turn it into a bit of a patio to have like barbecues and just sit on. So we moved the fish out. We were like, will it be all right? Put them in a bucket to acclimatise. Then we were going to put them into the bigger pond. One jumped out and died because we didn't spot it.
Why would it do that though? Why do they crave?
I don't know.
The
I don't
unknown.
know. And then the other one we put in, they were only tiny, they're only about that big. And the other one we put into, and it grew to the side, it grew really big.
They should never be curious. They should never have that. They should just know their place and never try to venture like us, like humans trying to leave Earth. Like, don't do it.
We lost Cotton Eye Joe to
Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe. They've all got names wrong. He had Cotton Eye.
My one that jumped out was called Lord Henry.
God, I know. I can't believe
I
it.
wrote a poem about
He
him.
got eaten by a heron.
We had heron issues in our village too.
In our village.
So many koi carp
I've never even seen a heron.
lost.
I've seen a burning car.
I've never seen a burning car. I've never seen a burning car.
What were your heron issues? This is important.
So,
Everyone wants to know this.
In the village, there was a lot of koi carps, and there was this fucking bitch ass heron that would just like come in and be like, "I'm gonna eat them," and we'd be like, "No, please don't," and it'd be like, "What if I did anyway?" And it did.
Yeah. Just they're right boisterous little buggers,
Yeah,
aren't they?
they're right boisterous little buggers. Like you can't
Sitting in the
reason with
garden,
them.
like, what are you gonna do about it, mate? I'm gonna eat your fish.
Yeah, and
right in front of
frogs
you.
as well, and not like they were pets, but they were part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I'd like to, on behalf of everyone watching this and me, just say I'm really sorry about what
It's
happened
okay.
to your pets.
It's all right.
Sad.
It is.
It's sad. Very much like we lost the video last week was sad, and therefore I can ask Louise about your drawing.
What were we getting around to that?
I did it.
So-
I did it.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
So my drawing wasn't a drawing. As we may or may not know, I have been practicing sculpting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a video about it. Your head did not make it into the video because I'm ashamed.
Do you want to put people off your video?
No.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
I was a mix between the red light, green light thing from Squid Games and Sloth. So
It was really bad dad, so I sculpted a Peachy face, and I was doing okay from the front, but then I turned it to the side. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Horror.
Oh, horror.
Horror.
But what our plan is to print them out and decorate our Christmas tree with Peachy faces, like little baubles.
That would be perfect.
Yes.
I
I kind of wanted to give you one today, but ran out of printing room.
Yeah, we did.
Totally
We did make a
I'm
note of
also
those.
scared.
Yeah, I think your printer.
I'll
would
do
be
it at
scared.
McFarlane scale, so you can put it on a McFarlane Space Marine.
That's awesome.
That's really good, actually.
That's
Why
pretty
don't
good.
we start, Louise? So you've been sculpting.
Can
Why
we-
don't you catch us up? What you've been up to? Or you don't want to?
I want everyone to know I've had quite a lot happen in 2 weeks.
That's true.
I don't want to go into details, but I did get kicked out of therapy for being too sad. So I'm currently looking.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm currently
Most people-
looking for a new therapist. And if you're watching this, I hope you disregard everything I said in the first 10 minutes. I'm really normal.
I think knowing that you got kicked out of therapy for being too sad really proves that you've attained a level of sadness most can't get to.
I called my dad.
It's like
I
being a
called my
boss.
dad about it. And he was like, actually, Louise, if you think about it, this is a good thing because like this is like a new low. He's like, it's not going to get any worse than getting kicked out of therapy.
You're kind of subterranean right now, aren't you?
Yeah. My dad's like, it's only uphill from here if you think about it. Actually, this is a new era for you.
What's crazy is the thing that set it off was that picture I drew. Like, she just was like,
Why are my titties attached to my elbows? So if you're a therapist and you want a challenge,
hit me up.
hit me up.
With the exception of that, though.
It's also a bit fucking crap.
Yeah.
Shout out to my family dog Daisy, who did very suddenly and unfortunately pass away
Love you, Daisy.
as well. I love Daisy very much.
Let's love to Daisy.
If you have a doggy at home, give it a big hug because it's fucking bullshit that dogs don't live forever.
I don't have a doggy, but I have a child.
That close enough.
I mean, they smell the same.
Close enough.
They
Oh,
do.
Peachy. Around the corner, they do like doggy puppy sessions where they
Dogging sessions.
No, it's not
Peachy.
not train collectors.
Not train collectors.
Cool.
So we were having dinner at the it's like
Bustler Market.
Bustler's Market, which is like a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
openy kind of like food stall place, and there were just about 15 puppies, and people, and you just get to book a session where you just sit and you get to play with 15 puppies.
That's amazing.
We should all go.
We should all go.
Yeah.
We should all next time
Juggz
it's on
day
because I
out.
know you
Yeah.
love dogs.
A
love
JDO.
I know you love
Love
dogs,
dogs.
and I feel like
And
all of
dogs
us.
love me.
Yes, I feel
Even
like
the
all
vicious
of
ones
us.
are like, oh, he's all right.
He's like, oh, he's good,
Yeah,
good.
he's all
I
right.
like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rub my
So
belly.
I think I think we should all go because I don't think any of us have enough dog in our lives,
That's true.
and I think we should all go.
A lot of people say I've got that dog in me, but I don't think they're
I
telling
got
the
that
truth.
dog in me, but that dog is just like, you know, those little whippets that have the jackets that say anxious.
A question to everyone watching: if all of us were dogs, which type of dog would we be?
Oh, you're a Tibbs.
I'm a Newfoundland.
He's a Newfoundland.
Slobbery and
I love
hairy.
Newfoundlands. Yeah, I remember we used to
Okay.
have a couple.
I'm trying to. Peachy's just like a good.
Chihuahua, a bold
No,
chihuahua.
I was thinking like a good like
Pedigree Labrador.
Yeah, I was thinking
Collie.
like just a good boy dog.
Yeah.
I mean, a bit all over the place. They're probably like
Collie's quite a good.
insane collie.
Collie's quite.
Insane
Yeah, I
collie.
could see Collie.
Collie.
Yeah, Collie.
Not good enough.
Just a bit mental.
I like collies.
Yeah, but they're not good. Not as good as a lab.
That's
That's
true.
true,
What
that's
would
true.
What would I be? Rob?
What would you be? Shivery Whippet.
Chivalry Whippet.
Shivery Whippet.
Yeah,
Shivery
shivery
whippet.
whippet with anxious written on you.
Yeah.
I'm just written on the tattoo. So yeah, I've had a shit week, so I'm behind on my video, but I am trying to Twitch stream more because like that's content.
Yeah.
The thing
Yeah.
is like, and I'm trying to learn this is that I'm not beholden to make a YouTube video every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I could just do some more streaming.
You see,
Or
it's weird,
it's
isn't
hard,
it?
isn't
Yeah,
it?
because you feel because I
Or
I
do
have a
more for
regular
my
pattern of
Patreon.
like a video a week.
Yeah, I'm
and
in
when,
that as
and when
well.
I don't hit that, I feel like I've either failed or
on
I know,
DV.
and you've mentioned this. Like, do I lose subscriptions now? Is that
There's
gonna have
a
an impact?
panic, right?
But
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
can build it up in different places.
Yeah.
Like, and it is difficult. Like, I'm definitely not going to get a video done by tomorrow because I don't.
You've had a week and a
it's-
half
it's
or more.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I think I'm trying to tell myself it's okay, and I'm trying to do other things to like engage with my community and make myself happy and do content which isn't just me like, because what I didn't want to do was sit in front of a camera when I'm sad and like scripted pretend to be happy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I went on Twitch and I was like, I'm sad. Lol, let's laugh about it. And that felt a lot more of a genuine way for me to do my job.
I guess you got that instant sort of like emotional reaction from people in the chat as well.
Yeah,
so
it was good because like I probably wasn't in a good headspace to stream if like I'm critically thinking about it, but I had such good fun.
Yeah,
it really depends though. Like, so I stream a lot, right?
Yes,
like that's what I do. And I think that there is like a certain level of like authenticity that's impossible. I think when people only make like videos, like
dedicated, like what I do.
Dedicated presentation video, I think eventually people can be like, I don't know if I know that person.
Yeah,
I know that person who's presenting something to me, but that's the
there's something to say about being live and actually talking to people.
I love live.
Me too.
Yeah, and I think actually that's really authentic. And sometimes when you're at your lowest days, it's a good time to stream. I know that sounds really silly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that yesterday would be a good time for me to stream. I did almost cry, but mostly I just laughed because everyone was like, because I told them like the whole story about how, if you want to hear the full story about why I got kicked out of therapy for being sad, check out my VODs. But I told them the whole story and it was really reassuring because I was like, is this real? And they were like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Your therapist should not have a job.
No.
This is crazy.
Like, where did they train?
I did a bin.
bin.
But yeah, it was really fun. It was really good. And I think, I don't know, it was just really nice. But I will be late on a video. And it's a video that I've been really excited to make because it's my sculpting video.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And
so can you tell me more about that?
Yes. So essentially, I think I said this last week, but I essentially set myself a challenge, which was for like an hour a night, I'm going to practice sculpting, right? And then I filmed me doing all the little bits. And it's just like, my main goal for the video is basically to be like, because I tried sculpting for a week and it was kind of easy.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't know if it's easy for everyone, but I found the program pretty easy to use. I gave myself like intuitive, I guess, like art challenges, tests, you know, like what Games Workshop do, where it's like draw a Space Marine versus an orc. Like I gave myself, I think, pretty good art tests throughout the week that gradually built on my skill set. And then by the end of the week, I think like day 7.5 or 8, I sculpted like a Space Marine helmet from scratch.
Which looks really good.
And then I printed it out and I'm like, oh, fuck. I think there could like, we're probably sitting on thousands of incredible miniature designers who just never picked up, like, because I always thought like, oh, I can't do that. Like, that's fucking like mad. Like, oh my God, that's the most insanely high skill thing to ever get into. And it is, but it's not got as big a barrier to entry as people think. I don't think.
I got a question.
Yes.
What's been your biggest new learning from sculpting? Because like for me, when I was doing editing, like learning, like doing like cool sort of changes of video as the music has different beats. I was like, I did it once and I never did it again because it was a lot of fucking work.
Oh, I like that. I like doing that.
But like in this short space of time, what would you say has been like your biggest?
Just learning the program. Like, it's because like I'm like I said, I think I'm predisposed to pick up programs quickly because I've used editing software like basically my whole life, and Illustrator and Photoshop. But I think it's like using shapes to make things. Yeah. Like learning, instead of me trying to hand sculpt a face, like being able to manipulate a preset shape into another shape, which is so easy. Like, so one of my first miniatures I sculpted was a mushroom guy. And I was like, this is going to be extremely difficult. But then it's like, it's literally 2 shapes. Yeah. And anyone can do
a plate, right?
Yeah. 2 shapes. What I say is like, all it was like 8 circles that I just, and you'd be really good at this because you're very good at shapes, it was just 8 circles that I just cut and put around to make it look like something else. And I'm like, I think a lot of people could do this. Yeah. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like, there could be so many more miniature sculptors out there making their own miniatures. But I think maybe like me, they thought the barrier to entry was too high, but I don't think it is.
It's also the other end of it, right? Like Peachy, you've been doing 3D printing and like, and as much as you're like, I'm not super comfortable about it, it's actually not been crazy challenging, would you say?
No, I mean, there was an initial sort of like learning curve for sure. But then after that, it's kind of like once you work out what the problems are, the fixes are really quick and easy.
Oh yeah, and I don't know everything about the program. Like I'm going to post a video and everyone will be like, why are you doing it? Like with your video, I'm sure. But I just don't think it was as scary as I thought it would. And that's really exciting for someone like me. And I just want to be able to be like, hey guys, what if we all just started sculpting our own miniatures? Like, that's freaking cool. And you don't need an iPad to do it. You can use any Android. Kind of like, you should try it. You should try it.
Yeah, I should totally try it.
And I just want people to try it. So I'm just like, here's my not very, I guess, like intense journey where I just played around for a week and this is what I got at the end. And we just today took some of my very first miniatures off the printer. What do you think, Rob? I think they look great.
They look great. They look great.
Good.
Like, I mean, I've seen you sculpting them. And I'm super impressed. Again, we've all seen the quality of my drawings. Hi. So, like to me, it looks like magic. And I know you're super sweet. You're going to say something along the lines of, "Just give it a try, you'll be fine." But actually, you have years and years and years of practiced experience in other fields.
How
in
do I
understanding.
put that in my script without sounding like I'm humble bragging? I don't want to be like, of course it's easy for me because I went to art school.
I'd say you've got an advantage. It's not easy for you. You've had an advantage.
So when you're paying someone for a job, right? So you pay someone, you're paying someone to do some woodwork in your house or something, right? And they're like, oh, it's going to cost me, it's 250 quid a day. It's going to take me 2 days. And they'll be like, wow, that's really expensive. It's like, yeah, well, you're actually paying for the experience where normally, like, it would take someone else 5 days.
Yeah.
So I can do it in 2 days, but each day is more expensive. Like, when you develop skill sets and you like learn stuff and trades, you like, as long as the market obviously will pay for it, like you should charge at those.
But I'm not charging anyone. I meant, how do I put in the script?
What I'm trying to say is people don't see all of the work people have done to be really good at something.
I know, but at the same time, I don't want people to assume that like, oh, like you're not an arty person and you're like, oh, Louise says that I can just create something and then maybe they struggle with it a bit more.
But also maybe I'm holding myself back.
Maybe.
I'm sure that's the point of some of the content all three of
just
us make.
Just give it a go.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying in the video. I just want people to try it.
People want to watch people. And I think one of the things you two do so well is you're so enthusiastic. And because you're enthusiastic, people give stuff a go. I think like ripping the plaster off on something, sometimes most change comes from inside a person.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need someone to poke you and just be like, give it a go.
Yeah.
And that's good.
You did that with Rascal Town.
Pardon me?
You did that with me and Rascal Town.
Yeah.
You're like, what if we did sell them? And I'm like, well, I don't know.
What if we did?
I think you did.
Yeah, we did. Now there are loads.
And now we do.
And now we're going to have VTube Rascals.
I want to be a
not.
VTuber so bad.
Okay, we're not doing that. Peach.
Either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we printed out my first miniatures, I guess, and they look good.
They look great. Oh, so you cleaned them up earlier.
Yeah,
It was just like staying
it's
nice.
crazy how deep you need to make the details on a miniature in order for it to translate into real life.
Yes. Yeah.
Because on my tablet, it's like very like elaborate like details and stuff, and then you print it out, it's just like softened.
This is what I find sometimes, like some of the sculptors. I'm not picking workshop in general. I'm just doing
obviously.
A lot of sculptors do these amazing pieces of art on screen, but forget they're going to be 28 mil or 32
well, this is exactly what I found.
And
Yeah.
do you remember the Iron Breakers / Iron Drakes, which are the Dwarf Warrior guys?
Yeah.
They've got like really
filigree.
intricate knotwork that when you look at the screen looks amazing. When Heavy Metal got the resins, you couldn't see it. They had to hand paint some of that detail. Because
literally exactly what's happened to me. So I did a Space Marine helmet and it looks really cool. It's got like bone detail and a bit of texturing, which on the screen looks extremely crisp. When it's printed that big in resin, it's like you wouldn't even know it had a texture. Like you wouldn't. And so I talked to Tom about it, our sculptor, and he's like, you have to do it a ludicrous amount, especially if you're sculpting like for a Space Marine scale. He's like, you need to just a silly amount exaggerate the details.
And it depends what medium. If you're doing resin, it's different if you're doing FDM.
Oh, I'm sure.
So like that's also different as well.
Yeah.
The materials are different. There's loads of stuff.
But considering it's the first ever thing I've done, it's gone so well. And I think it's lucky that I picked larger scale things to print.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look great.
But a Space Marine helmet looks like a Space Marine helmet. It could easily fall onto a Space Marine head.
It was as easy as exporting STL from Nomad Sculpt. And then Tom, I don't think really did much.
He resized them.
Like, that was it. There wasn't like, oh, I'm going to like put it into another program and do something else. If you really wanted to, I think you could export the STL just of that doodle you've made, pop it on your print bed, whatchamacallit, program. Slicer. And then you've got a miniature.
Yeah.
And that's fucking wild.
That
Or
is
send
cool.
it to your friend who does have that facility. But either way, it's crazy. And like more people should try it, I think. And
I
that's
might make loads of boobs and stick them on my models.
Oh my God, you
For
should
Nipplegate.
do that.
Nipplegate.
I'll print you out just like a bed of nipples.
Just a space marine with just boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Boob marine.
Yeah, spoob marines.
Spoob
marines.
Boob marine.
Boob
Dodgy as
marines.
hell.
Boob marines. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing.
That's great. And also, the thing we're going to talk about later, probably
yeah?
shouldn't say that 30 minutes in, probably should start the show with that, is we're going to talk about, because we're also going to a ton of conventions in the future. So
Oh my God, yeah.
we're going to talk about that as well, which would be cool. But Peach, what have you been up to?
A lot in the last couple of weeks. I had a bit of a dodgy week last week, just from I must have contracted whatever Charlie had. Bless him, he didn't know how to deal with it.
Oh,
but some
no.
tummy issues. And
Oh, did he have a little tummy
he
ache?
did have a
Me
little
too.
bit of a tummy ache, yeah. So it affected my early week of filming, which then set me back. And this was last week. And I had a sponsored video, which didn't do very well. And I think it's a mix of being ill, trying to get, because I was like doing lots of late nights. And Liz was like, you've put a lot of effort into this for very little reward. I was like, yes.
That's sad.
Yes, I have. But, and I guess when you make these videos, people don't see that. But, you know, I'm happy with the video and they were happy with it. And it was very different because it was based on a game that you can get a physical box. And I like the concept behind it. So you buy the box, which is 60 quid. It comes with all the STLs, but you get all the card content to play the game, plus some card stand-ins if you want to like get started and play him. And then you just print those STLs when you start.
So 60 quid for the STLs, but they're obviously the minis aren't in the box. So you just get the whole
but
thing.
you get all the card details in there. So it's lighter to ship. So there's less shipping costs. So that it's almost like that it's a lesser cost than it could have been. But obviously there's a lot of comments on the channel going, that's a shit product. I want physical figures. And I totally get that. So there's two camps of like, I get that, but I also get why they've done it this way because it minimizes on the cost of shipping and this, that, and the other. So there was some interesting arguments in the comments, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes. So if anyone's not sure, it's the Loot Studios Maledictum game. It looks fun. It looks cool.
I think an important point, at least hearing it from my side, and what I like and have enjoyed loads about YouTube comments the past couple of weeks, is people's opinions.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when we make stuff, like videos and things, like we could be like, that sounds interesting. But then also you're like, but like gun to your head, how do you feel about it? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's how you feel about it.
Yeah. I was still on the fence because I said I'd do it. And I said this like November time when they reached out because it was quite an interesting concept. And I was getting into the 3D printing thing. And I foresee like 10 years from now, probably everyone's going to have a 3D printer. Like pretty much everyone has a smartphone. Like 10 years ago, not smartphones are for the rich and greedy. Whereas now everyone has them because it's just like, you know.
Convenience.
At least an FDM
the text
printer.
there. Yeah. But it was an interesting product and I wanted to talk about it. Granted, it's a sponsored thing. So, you know, obviously you get paid for that as well. But it was more about trying something different and painting something different as well because there's some really nice, interesting models. But they're all like 40 mil.
Okay.
So that was like so
I like that scale.
Yeah, so Shatterpoint scale. So some really nice artistic designs and stuff.
Have you picked up any Conquest models yet?
No. It's Conquest.
Conquest Last Augment of Kings.
Yeah.
Like it's basically just a fantasy game.
Oh, cool.
But apparently everyone says the rules are really good. But the models are the models are bigatures. They're quite big.
Yeah.
Oh, did you talk about this when you went to Games Expo?
Yeah.
I feel like you told me about this.
They're just crazy money.
That's a shame.
It's really interesting when you see something and you bulk at it. You're like, okay, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. I think they're a small individual studio. Based in Brazil or something.
Wow, really?
And the guy that owns it or his dad's a billionaire or something. So it's like it's one of them like we can do what we like sort of.
I wish I was a billionaire.
Do you? No, we don't like billionaires.
Oh wait, billion's stupid. Yeah, millionaire.
Yeah, only $1 million.
$1 million.
2, so I can give Peachy 1 million.
Oh,
deserve $1 million.
That's cute. Good job.
And I'll
All
pass
right.
on to Charlie.
Yeah, all right.
Haha.
Minecraft stuff.
Minecraft. Here you go. Here's all your mine coins.
Oh yeah.
So what I was going to say, the last argument, Kings. I've been a few people have mentioned it, but it's kind of it just feels like another not large scale, but like unit based game. I haven't got time to invest in. I'd rather just do like 5-6 guys for a skirmish warband,
Yeah.
as opposed to 70-50 figures for a game that I might play once.
Yeah.
Because the setting has to be like, it's interesting, isn't it? Like, because it's a fantasy setting, and some of the miniatures look great. Like
Absolutely.
they really, really do. And you're like, oh, that's cool. It's a fantasy setting. You're like, what about it? You're like, well, a fantasy setting. And you're like, but like,
what's the twist?
What's the twist? You're like, no, it's just a fantasy setting.
Fantasy setting.
They're
Fantasy
dragons.
Generic fantasy.
There's a lizard.
I mean, I do like generic fantasy because you can use
lizard.
it anywhere, but because it's a different scale, that makes it a little bit trickier, I think.
Yeah, Chris, who works downstairs, the Doomsong Chris, who we've had on the show, he's like
love
obsessed.
Chris.
He's like, if nothing's 20, like he hates modern Games Workshop minis because he's like, they're not 28mm, they're 32mm.
Yeah,
because they are 32mm. So he's like, it doesn't go in with all my other 28mm minis, so I can't work them all together. And I was like, I've never even thought about that.
Yeah,
like I don't care.
Well, I mean, looking at that Maledictum stuff, I mean, I could shrink some of that down to fit into Silver Bayonet, or just use them at that
That is
scale.
one of the cool things about 3D sculpts. Actually, you can have them at whatever scale you want, right?
Yeah. Does that affect the supports? You have to just go for lighter supports?
Yeah,
I
you
guess?
have to just do different stuff.
Yeah.
And also will affect detail as well.
Yeah, so we printed some of my Space Marine helmets at Space Marine scale, and it's just a blob.
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of make out where I did some recesses on it, but it's and I'm gonna put this in a video. Like, you gotta do stuff for it to work that small.
I'm a little concerned actually, like just as a me thing for a second. Well, just because like I feel like I feel like we're getting to the stages where for producing where you guys like Tom obviously, and then like now you're starting as sculptors are asking me questions where I'm like, I really want to sharpen the detail. I'm like, okay, cool. That's like 7 YouTube videos I'm going to be deep involved in.
That's a me and Tom thing.
No, it's not. It's to a degree. So yeah, I mean it's collaborative because you're asking the producer, right? Like you say,
you got to
the
manufacture
producer,
that and make it work, right?
Yeah. You're like, the detail isn't sharp.
Yeah, but it's on us to make the sculpt that.
But also because the settings also yes and also no, because it's a bit like which part is the sculpt and which part is
the back.
Yeah, like you'll hear sometimes like, I don't like 3D prints sometimes because they're soft, and it's like, well, no, they're not. You can get really sharp 3D prints. You just have to be good at 3D printing.
Yeah, I guess that bit's a bit confusing. And this is something I put in the video as well. It's like, I still, like, that's the last thing that I can't do. If I get good at sculpting, the last thing is Rob's job that I need to come
the thing
for.
is that's a really easy mechanical job.
I don't agree. I think I could much easier be sculpting than...
I think that's the difference between creatives and practical people sometimes as well. Because I like Liz is super practical. She sees stuff around the house and she'll do it, and I'll be like, I'm glad you did that because I didn't know.
Rob's the Liz. We all know this, that Rob is the Liz.
The highest honor a person can be gifted. So Pete, you were saying, sorry.
I did that video. It didn't go so well. It tanked a bit. But before that, I had a onesie, which was nice, which was my Rohan video. I think I mentioned that in the last episode.
Have you watched the film yet?
No.
We just
I need to
bought
catch it. I've got it on Amazon. So
we got it. We got it as well.
Do you want to watch it tonight?
Oh, we could, but you're recording.
I do need to get Hera because she looks
great.
The mini?
Really cool, yeah.
I think that might have been a key thought.
Have you played the game yet? Are you planning on playing the game?
What, Lord of the Rings game? Oh, I played it many times, but not this new edition. War of the Rohirrim.
Well, is that something that would still be of interest to you?
Yeah. I can't imagine the mechanics have changed that much.
Yeah, themed stuff, I imagine. Maybe.
Yes, but I quite like the characters. I like
Hera
the look of it.
Looks great. You're
she
right.
does. They all look cool.
So
but
pretty.
I'm literally going to look at Hera as using her as like different characters for like my different games as well because same scale.
Yeah.
Although I did have this weird, and it's made me like question. So Keith or anyone that's a sculptor that might be watching. I was always under the impression that Lord of the Rings figures were 28mm because I remember the Perrys sculpting them and they sculpted them to be a similar scale to their historicals. But a few people on the comments from a Victrix Rohan video said no, they think they're 25mm.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
smaller.
I think they're 25.
I always think they're 28.
They're not allowed to be
25.
28. It's like a contractual thing.
I don't remember
Apparently,
this.
we don't know. But unless you do know.
I got told it by someone in the company.
Oh, well, there you go. I think they are 25mm because I remember at one point, like they had a bunch of 20, like smaller scale. Whatchamacallit, like not, you know how you get the 25mm bases, which are that. I think they started playing around with even smaller scale though. So I think they are smaller than.
Should we give some context to this? Because this is something I, for a long time, felt quite confused about, right? So when we're talking about scale, what we're saying, because a 25mm base is a different conversation to it being a 25mm
to explain
figure.
for people that may not know and who just clicked on here for Titty Talk.
Exactly. They were
Let's
like,
talk about the
they were like, I
size
love the
of
first 10 minutes, but then I'm like, what the hell is that?
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, so like the scale, like just to make sure I've got it right as well.
Yeah.
So basically, there's like if you were to shrink me down, you would shrink me down to 25mm or 32mm or 40mm.
Yeah,
Wait, does that mean tall?
Not tall. No, it's like so.
Then what is 25
From toes to head.
So it's the concept that if you were to take Louise or me, we would be a 25mm version of ourselves.
I know. But
I
like,
don't know,
what does the
actually. I actually
25
don't
mil
know.
So I've
refer
always,
to?
so there's,
I thought it was the base size.
There's
He's
heroic
Googling
scale.
it.
There's
Googling
heroic
it.
scale and true scale. I'm trying to get my head around. I think true scale is from feet to eyes. And I think heroic scale is like slightly bigger, but it goes...
It's proportioned or something.
No, sorry.
isn't it?
I think true scale is feet to head, and the heroic scale is like feet to eyes, so it can be bigger and a bit bulkier.
Yeah, it's like true scale is if my head was like, literally you shrunk me down.
Yeah.
But is it heroic scale is the proportions are slightly off
Swords
in
are
order.
bigger.
Traditionally,
heads are bigger.
minis were measured from their feet to their eyes, depending on manufacturer.
Ah.
This can change. Some will measure from the feet to the top of the head. 25, 28, and 30mm are pretty common for standard humanoid figures. But the concept is that if you did a human at 28mm, even though that's where you measured it,
be
from,
a bit bigger.
but a dwarf would be smaller than the human because it wouldn't be a 28mm tall figure.
Yes.
It would be 28mm scale.
Scale, yeah. So whatever
Scale.
that scale is in ratios.
I think because that's something for a long time I was like, people talk around me, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I kind of knew what it meant, but not what it was referring to.
I still get confused by train gauges
What
because you get like
gauges?
N gauge, O gauge, and there's like different.
What the heck?
I don't know what the scales are for
What?
those, but I've always like tried to. And there's this really interesting argument. I know that some people put a comment in saying that no, this is the correct scale.
Okay.
For 28mm vehicles, right? If you want
Yes.
28mm vehicles,
Yes.
People say traditionally it's 156 scale.
Okay.
But then I've also heard it's 150 scale. But actually,
wow.
most scales for cars of that scale are 148. So like Tammy do 148 scale.
Crazy.
But it's only like 2 points between like 150, 148.
Yeah, that's
But there's always this argument like, no, true 28mm scale vehicles
Oh,
are
God.
156th.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, does it really matter? I mean,
I think people do get their knickers in a twist
They do.
about scale. Because I remember people, like, one of the arguments, because I think it was like when Primaris Marines came out, like there was a lot of arguments about they should be true scale. Or Games Workshop should start being true scale. Like the heads are getting too big. It's looking too cartoony. I don't know. I don't care.
yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah, it's a cool model you paint.
I think as long as like, because if you're going to release a range of minis, because obviously Old World is in this interesting space at the moment, right? For like making minis, because they've got a bunch of new minis are out.
Oh, we could talk about the new reveals.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up
and
actually.
stuff. Yeah.
But like, yeah, so they obviously when they're releasing new heroes, you're like, okay, cool, because just Old World is 28. Games Workshop models now are 32mm scale. That's the scale that they are. Whereas the older, like what period of time? Old Hammer was 28mm, but then there was also a period of time of 28mm heroic, which was 28mm bodies, but heads and hands
Bit bigger.
were
Bit bigger,
32mm. So that's the difference. But now it's like, cool, what are they going to do for Old World? Because there's a range of scales, and I think they've just gone for 32mm.
Aren't the knights a bit bigger than the men at arms now as well? Like the new plastic knights.
Yeah. They're just doing 32mm, which I think is the right decision long term.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a better scale for the minis. I'm sure some people will disagree with that. But whatever.
But I'm also doing. I've got a battle report on the go as well.
What is the battle report
The
about?
battle report is a 80s action show called V.
You've been excited for this
Been
for a while.
excited for it. So
Yeah.
I kind of like. Not all. I've tried to get a couple of bits together, which is V, my favorite TV show from the 80s, but also get some action heroes in from different TV shows from the 80s. So I've got like Rambo in there. I've got TJ Hooker.
Nice.
I've got like random.
Got
like,
the A-team.
I didn't get the A-team finished in
Should
time,
get
so
the
I've got like a
A-team.
couple of the characters from the TV shows.
I like that you
Resistance.
actually had the A-team in there. I was joking and you're like,
I've even got Ron Burgundy because what I want to do, right?
Oh, I love that
Fake
you've got
80s.
Ron Burgundy.
Well, I've got this idea, and I mentioned it on
Hilarious.
my weekly workbench. I've got a film crew that I'm going to paint up, and I'm thinking of having them in shot every now and again.
That's so
because you get
funny.
like the odd inaccuracy in like music.
What
you can
where
see
like one of the boom arms is just like floating around. That's
that's great.
hilarious.
or do like bloopers, so I might even like include them in
That's
in
very
shots.
funny.
I love that. That's
I love
funny.
that. That's
But yeah, I was having to
hilarious.
play with like effects last night because it's taken a while to edit it because I've not edited it for a while, but I'm really excited about it. Thank you to Landon for doing voices and Nigel
Casual
as well.
Peachy's BFF Landon.
Yes,
Whatever.
BFF.
Whatever.
Nigel, who did some voices for Sharp as well, he was like, oh, I'm really busy this week because I'm opening a play. And I was like, you don't have to. They've just got like, there's a character.
He's opening a play.
Yeah, well, he's an actor, isn't
the
he? So,
fuck?
I don't know why he doesn't sound like that. He just sounds like a normal guy.
Just like, oh, BFF.
But it was because I've got one character from The Sweeney who's John Thor. He plays a guy called Jack Reagan. And I was like, can you do like a cool London voice? So he was like, I'll try and rush something out. And when Nigel says he's going to rush something out.
And of course it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Of course it's perfect.
Of course it is.
But then Landon has done William Shatner, the guy who plays Jim Hopper, and Michael Ironside for me.
We're saying voice actors are magical people.
Amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They're
They can do stuff. It's so crazy.
like, it's so fun. Like, I remember.
Because I'm pretty good at accents. But like,
you are not good at accents. Every single accent you attempt, I have to forcibly stop you before someone hears you. Is offended.
Why do the Twitch chat always ask me to do them then?
Because they want to get you cancelled.
Because they're trying. You are their jester.
Oh, and thank you to Darcy Bonner as well, because she did some Necromunda voices a while back.
Yay.
And I needed some voices for a female. I can't do females very well. So I
neither-
should have asked you.
No,
I should have asked you.
no. I'm not a good voice actor. Absolutely.
Yes, you are.
Dodge,
Yes, you
dodge,
are.
Dodge
Yes, you are.
me.
Your Deep South
Loads of people have said that you are.
Yeah, your Deep South was pretty good. Your Timmy is pretty good as well.
That's the only two I can do.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's all I need.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
all
we're
I
out.
need.
We're out.
Okay.
Either way, thank you, Darcy.
But yeah, super excited for the episode. Just some audio issues that I need to fix.
That's fun. It's been your first battle report in a while.
Yes. When was last time? October,
Was
November
it
time?
Sharps?
I did 3 sharp.
It's really
Yeah.
hard. It's also really hard to plan what you want to do in the future when you're struggling like hell while you're ill or you're sad. Like to even
Kicked out therapy because
to
you're sad.
trying to think about what you're trying to do in the future, right? That's tough.
Yeah.
So well done on keeping going, both of you. You should be proud of yourselves.
It's fun. What about, have we covered you?
No.
No, we haven't.
What have you been doing, Rob? What have you been up to?
Oh, squishy.
Just
Yeah,
been
I'm
making a load of videos, a load of goblins. The big headline. I've made quite a few videos that have gone well, which is nice.
You've got 2 onesies.
I did get a double onesie.
You had 2 double onesies, didn't you?
Well, so because I do have like at least 2 YouTube channels because I cover all my old world stuff on Square Based and I cover all my Age of Sigmar stuff on the Honest Wargamer, and then I normally cover stuff that's not Age of Sigmar also on the Honest Wargamer.
Yeah.
So basically, I've just passed off the old world stuff because I feel like. I know some people don't do that, but that works best for me because when you land on the Square Base channel, you're like, everything on this is the subject that I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the right
That's
thing.
nice.
Like I've been doing loads of Necromunda and maybe do Necromunda, maybe, I don't know. Me and Peach don't want to talk about that. But like there's loads of cool stuff I'd like to do, but I would put them somewhere else, probably. And that's a little bit hard because then like your big audience that maybe you've developed in one place maybe doesn't go to the other place, but maybe it's better for the
You
customer.
feel like you're starting from scratch a little bit, and you feel like, well, if I want people to watch my videos, why wouldn't I just put it where everyone is, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then also some people are like, people then just don't click it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
And then you're like, what the hell is an algorithm? It's a
Loads
lot
of
of
people
questions.
say it's good to have a second channel. Like,
Yeah,
actually,
I've heard
I would be scared personally, but
Because I'm thinking of maybe down the line making my battle reports a separate
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And a lot of people say it's good, but I would be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because it
was
feels like
scary.
you're
It was
starting from scratch,
it was a super scary time for me. I won't lie. When I first did it, and then also I have fucked it up a bit as well. So like I did have my main channel, which has got like 44,000 subscribers, and I basically don't upload to there at the minute.
Yeah.
And
You
now
haven't
I've just
done
got
a dedicated video in so long.
yeah. So because that's meant to be like where I make. The goal for that was, I was like, this is just my stream recordings.
Yeah.
This is just off the cuff and easy, right?
But then you got really good at those.
Yeah, I got really good at those, and then people watch them, and that's super nice, and doing good numbers now, which is big thumbs, love that. Whereas the main channel was meant to be like, I've written a script, I've gone through a bunch
That's
of
what your
stuff.
slap chop and stuff was.
Loads
like
of stuff,
those
and all my
videos.
master classes and other stuff. So like, it's basically abandoned at the moment, and I would like to get, but I don't owe anyone anything.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't. There are 44,000
Well,
people
we
subscribed,
talked-
but they're not paying for anything. There's not anything on there.
We
that's,
talked recently about how like things naturally kind of ebb and flow and change.
Yeah.
And like it's really reassuring that Rob did have what he would consider, like we consider our main channel.
Yeah, yeah.
And now he's like, I've just naturally gone into something else just as successful, which people seem to like and I really like. And it's like, oh, you're not, as you like to say, killing your darlings. You're just like moving on with other things which are good as
Yeah,
well. And it's
but-
working out
It's
for
like
you.
you
Yeah,
talk
I would
about
like
that
to-
creative. Sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, it's like when you say you talk about that creative process that we all go through and like things amalgamate and
I think it's a
naturally
case
change.
where like my goals for this year, like maybe get an editor, maybe like have someone help me with events and stuff. Like that would be stuff that take off work that I'm doing, and then I could go back to being like, cool, now I do have time to write a script.
Yeah, yeah.
I do have time to to like, because I've got loads of scripts and ideas for videos I'd want to make, but also like, you know, like I say this week. So because where I run all the events over Christmas, all YouTube is awful, isn't it? Like,
What do you mean?
YouTube's such a bitch. Like,
oh my god, it is. Do you mean like the way it's just like it's like we're watching you and you're not doing as good as you used to do?
Like, I'm taking it as a
bitch.
I'm taking it as a personal affront that all of my numbers are grey, which means bad.
Oh, we've all had the times of grey. And it like so Peachy came in today and he's like, I'm really bummed out because the last video I did was like the worst video I've done. And
So
I'm like,
far, yeah.
absolutely, you are right to be bummed out. It feels like there is no me going like, oh, it's okay, you shouldn't feel bad. Like, it feels fucking shitty because YouTube makes you feel shit about it.
It does.
Like,
Yeah, like,
it's like,
I log on to all my
this
channels.
isn't as good. Think about what you did wrong.
Yeah, I log on to-
and it says that as well. It's like, have a think about why
It's the way it
people
goes.
aren't watching this.
Yeah, your regular viewers are choosing not to watch this video. It's like, well, thank you for just sticking that knife and
And
then
then it'll
twisting
just
it
be
a
like,
bit.
have a think about what you could do, like a thumbnail change. And I'm like, I did my best. I'm like,
Yeah, it's exactly what, because I ran all the events over Christmas, I basically didn't upload for a couple of weeks or maybe a week and a half. And then I think it was about 2 weeks, might have been even a bit longer. And you can see that, you can just see this flat line on the graph.
Beep.
But since then, I've just like been trying to tank it and just get as much back
Rob
up.
made 6 videos in one day the other day.
Jesus.
Tell
I
me
did.
about that.
Well, so one of the
That's
things I've
crazy.
learned is to be more specific. People do want specific stuff. So like because I do the Square Base show with Val. So like I keep calling them tight 10s to him. That's what I say. I'm like, let's do a tight 10.
Is this another Robism?
Yeah, let's do a tight
what's
10.
a tight 10?
Well, because basically
Sounds
what
like what horrible high school boys call women. I hate it.
Okay, I'm going to change that now. Never do it again.
Thank you. I hate it.
Okay, well, we won't talk about it then.
No, tell us about your tight 10.
No, the concept is like if there's a subject, because basically
cutting
what we
that.
do is a podcast. And so we will cover several things in the podcast. And that's actually really detrimental. A bit like this, because you might want to just pass out like a very specific subject. So for instance, like, and we should talk about all these things. So I'd love to know what you think about them.
Oh, yeah?
Like they like basically announced Cathay. Yeah.
Did you see this?
And we'll talk about it in a moment. But
Oh my
like
God,
what I could have done is I could
exciting.
have done, they've announced, in one show, we could have covered that they've done High Elves, and they've announced Cathay, and they've done this other thing, and we could have done that all in one video.
Yeah, it would be like a roundup of the everything announced at the...
Which is super okay.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
actually,
do.
what I think tends to work better now is to be more
So
specific.
if someone... So you mean like separate everything out?
And it's kind of going along the idea of the additional
more work
YouTube.
for you.
Well, there's something more directed for that person, something more directed for that person.
Yeah,
It's like,
Yeah,
you-
what if I'm like specific, like I'm so excited for Cathay, I want to watch a video about that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So then you end up watching that and you're like, cool. And then if you're like excited about High Elves, then you watch that video that we made. And so like, just doing those little bits and being a little bit like more focused, actually super useful. And then we did like a...
And it's paid off, I think, for you, which is...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, super good. And this week has been nice as well. I've actually got a kind of surprise video success yesterday.
Oh, is it the if you're a big dumb, this is what you should be? It's very
Dumb.
funny.
So, I don't know if you
it's
remember-
a very Rob coded video where he's like, local man calls everyone idiot, and then it just does very well.
Yeah. Well, so I remember me telling you the story about Tom who played at the event, and then he's just like, his friend wrote him a list. It's like, stop being clever, just be stupid.
Yeah.
And just do stupid stuff, right? So for Age Super, it's taking Kragnos and some ogre monsters and just running them at people. Shout out to all my American friends. It's currently being called LVO coded based on the coverage we saw from the games. Just full sending it like a moron. And then, so then that was really inspirational because running the event, I got to watch Tom's emotional reaction. And he, as someone who's played war gaming for years, was like, I might just be really dumb in the future. It was
You
like
know
a
what?
fun,
This ain't so bad.
Wasn't his first ever event. It was like a revelation to him. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm stupid. Like, and he's a really like he like works for he's like a consultant for like big businesses.
Yeah.
And he's basically an efficiency expert. And people are
Wow.
like, I might do this, and he's like, you're stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's his job, right? So then I was just percolating on this idea, and then on Thursday we just did a tier show, and I was like, okay, if you're dumb, right? If you're stupid, but you want to do some wargaming,
Oh my God, me.
yeah. Yeah.
Hello. This is why it's gone so well, because everyone's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know, but
That's me.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of awkward, isn't it? And
It's unfortunate how many people consider themselves dumb.
It's
if
the
you were like
slap-top
smart
story.
people click on this video, nobody would have clicked.
Yeah, we did do a joke where we should just do exactly the same video with exactly the same tiers, but just say
Smart
if you're
people.
smart, which is funny.
That's
but,
quite funny. Just release the same video.
yeah. But it's the slapjob story, right? Like with slapjob, it's like, hey, you're stupid. Paint like this. And everyone's like, thank God. Because everyone's asking me to buy an airbrush.
Everyone
like,
expects me to be a really good painter and improve. I'm dumb.
Yeah, and also, I'm dumb. Like, I don't want to be smart. I want to be
Oh,
dumb.
Rob, you're cater.
Yeah, like, I remember when we talked on the podcast once, like I said to you, I was like, I learned a valuable lesson. And it was still
What was your valuable lesson?
I learned a valuable lesson. Slapjob taught me one valuable lesson.
One.
People are dumb.
No, it's that when
Only
you
one?
really like something, because I really like tactical and technical gameplay. Yeah. And that's my thing. And I've got an audience that like that as well. I'm super happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But also a bunch of other people listening because they're like, I kind of like that. Because there's no one who's making the dumb content.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one's watching it. Because why would you watch it? Because it's dumb. Right? So
Yeah,
like,
I want people to think I'm a smart painter. I'm gonna watch the smart painter stuff. I want to be good. I want people to think I'm good and look at my stuff and think, oh, she's so good and so smart.
Yeah, and also the smart painter would know how to teach me quick stuff. I think that's why all the speed paint videos did really well, because people are like, you're a good painter, you can teach me how to paint fast, surely.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's your thing. And they're like, no, I'm going to paint for 700 hours. Yeah, they're like, I don't want to do that. But anyway, so that video's gone really, really well because like I was basically like, hey, are you dumb? This is the dumbest army you can play.
What was the one thing you learned from Slapchop?
Oh, I learned that people want they want someone to explain to them something simple.
Yeah.
But when you're too good at something, you struggle to explain something simple because
you are real relatable.
How do you mean?
With your jokes and your humor. And you're calling a paint grey 2.
Because I was dumb.
It's the first paint because it's called white 01. So you don't need any other paint because why wouldn't you go? It's the first one made, so it's the best.
No, that's sarcasm, but I reckon 60-70% of the audience were just like, oh, interesting. 01, that's why it's white.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, it probably is why it's white, actually. Like, there is something to be said. No,
but anyway, so I've just been making loads of videos, which has been fun. We've been printing loads of stuff, and I guess the big ticket item is we've been working on terrain for Old World, me and Tom. Tree debacle.
Debacle.
Right, okay.
Funny, because bark.
Thank you.
They're nice.
Thank you very much.
Nice. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, but we've been shafted by the trees.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No.
So like Rob and Tom, it's like, you know when like mum and dad has a fight and then they come to you and it's like, we just had a little disagreement and we're not mad at each other and stuff. It's been like that.
Yeah.
And I'm the child, just like.
And so I'm like, make the trunks wider. He's like, doesn't look like a tree, it's a mushroom. And I'm like, no one knows what trees look like.
He's like, just give the mushroom more branches and then it's a tree.
Have you got to the root of the problem?
Yeah, we have. Thank you so much.
They branched out on their ideas.
But yeah, we're making a train set for the Old World, which is super exciting because we'd like to sell them, but also it's like a problem solving thing. We're not making them because we want to sell them. We're making them because when you play the Old World, it's actually really hard to get a couple of things. Forests and hills are difficult. So we're close towards solving that, which I'm super excited about because I got pumped the other day jazzed when I was talking about, because I was like, we could do now that we've got the basics, now we can be like, okay, cool, here's our swamp set.
Oh my God, what for orcs and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
You could do like a burnt city or something like that. Oh, so many ideas.
So that's cool. So it's all little baby steps towards something, which is fun.
But it's good to have a range of stuff that
you can build on.
That can be used practically in wargaming.
Well, because I run events, right, and have a venue, it's basically problem solving the problems I have.
Yeah. But
I'm like, you're making them for you.
You're not isolated though, because
I'm not isolated.
Yeah.
I know for a fact, either people who want to play at home or people who want to go away and something else. So there's definitely not there's definitely an audience of people who want that thing. It's like when we made the objective markers, people were like, cool, thank you, I would like those. And we sold tens of thousands of those. Because people are like, I don't have them, and now people make them the world over, so it's not as special, but it's cool. So we've been doing that, and that's been super fun. And then what did you think of the all of the reveals, because two big things for me this week, for me personally, is the announcement of Chaos Dwarfs, basically pseudo announcement, and then
so I thought you were being a bit conspiratorial about that announcement, because they didn't announce it. What they showed was like a flash of some eyes at the end of a preview, and there was like a jaggedy texture in the background that Rob zoomed in and was like, this looks adjacent to a sign of Hashut.
Ooh.
Which I thought was a bit like, come on, that's a bit tin. But no, I think you probably are right.
Yeah, I definitely am right. That's the other thing as well. All of us have conversations sometimes where we're like, I'm guessing. Are you guessing or are you guessing? It's like, I'm not even guessing. Like, I know. I'm just saying I'm guessing.
But I don't know if that's what they were saying.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm like, But the Cathay thing is very egregious.
See, I've seen the Cathay stuff, but I can't remember any of the other reveals, even though I've probably seen them.
So I don't remember the reveals because I think I was just like having a menti. But there's lots of Emperor's Children. Which is
it was all the Emperor's Children stuff.
That was the big
I don't
thing.
think I've seen any of them.
Oh my gosh, shall I show you pictures? Let's get them up. But you didn't see the news this week either.
Well, no, there's been a lot of things happening.
It's been a lot.
So they announced Emperor's Children 40k, but the big which is obviously for 40k fans is obviously a big moment.
Oh, huge! I love Emperor's Children. I want to make that very clear. One of my favorite Space Marine things in general.
So what did you think of the reveals then?
Loved it.
Oh, really?
It's like it didn't completely do it for me.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I was like, like Lucius, sword guy. What is that? Is that how we say his
Lucius
name?
the Eternal.
Is it?
Lucius the
Good.
Eternal.
I never know if it's Lucius or Lucius.
Oh, whichever.
Either way, one of my favorite characters. Love the old miniatures. So when I was learning how to paint and stuff like that, my friend's army was Emperor's Children. I loved them. He had a beautifully painted Emperor's Children army. So I have a lot of
pink or black or gold and purple.
Pink and black.
Ooh.
Hundy P. Are you kidding? And again, that's how he painted them, and he was a great painter, and I love those miniatures. The first miniature I painted was a Mask of Slaanesh because I thought I'd go kind of down the Slaanesh route. And I think a lot of the miniatures and I don't know if this is just because I'm old, and I'm like, the old thing was good, but a lot of the miniatures didn't really do it for me. So Lucius the Eternal, he didn't have that big smile. He didn't have the big evil smile that I think he should have had. And some of these Space Marine ones, they have these elongated heads that I don't love. And I wish they went a little bit of a different direction. But honestly, it's very exciting. And I like the, the Fulgrim, but I still think that the 30k one might be nicer.
I think that was the general consensus. Was
good. Okay, I love having a popular opinion.
I want Fulgrim. It's we've got Fulgrim at home, and it was the 40k one at home.
Here you go.
And
have a little scroll through these for you.
The only thing I'm worried about now is Facebook is going to be quiet because there's no one asking every 5 seconds on Warhammer TV, where's the Emperor's Children?
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're going to lose loads of viewers now. They got what they wanted.
It's a good argument that they don't have any anyway.
Let's see. Yeah. So
I do love. Yeah, I love that colour scheme.
I love these. Yeah, these are great. No
they look like classic Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got a dude with the little.
Yeah, I do.
So seeing as no one else can see them, I might kind of move the convo forward a bit. Yeah.
Oh, these are the long head guys, the cone heads.
Yeah.
The cone heads.
You see what I mean?
Weird.
Yeah, they're a bit, but not sexy weird.
No,
not sexy weird.
This guy's sexy. He's showing a little bit of ab.
Oh, that's kind of hot.
Maybe underneath that loincloth, he's got a little bit of groin.
Maybe they learned a little bit from the the Hedonites of Slaanesh from Age Sigmar, which were quite convoluted models. They were quite complex, maybe. But yeah, so Emperor's Children are out. Smash or pass, Louise?
And smash.
Smash, Peach.
Smash. Definitely
Okay,
smash.
Definitely smash.
I've always
Pass
been an
for
Emperor's
me.
Children fan. So.
Obviously, pass for you. You don't care.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
There's
Also,
elements of 40k.
Just to plug myself for a minute, perfect time to release a bright pink spray.
Oh, absolutely. Or flesh.
True. Couldn't have timed that any better, Peachy. It's 2 things you need if you're doing Emperor's Children. It's skin and pink.
Yeah, this is true.
So wonderful.
Skin and pink.
What else was there, Rob?
So,
like I said, I didn't see.
Cool.
That's okay.
Cool.
So yeah, they did Emperor's Children.
It is pretty though. I do want to say I do think
Fulgrim.
The original old Fulgrim or the 40k Fulgrim?
4K and the 30k. I think 4K Fulgrim.
See, I think I've seen that.
Super
Fulgrim.
pretty.
Well, it's an interesting thing now.
They've had it for ages. I was pulled into a meeting to set up stuff for, I don't know, Necromunda or something, and they literally had that as a silhouette. like I don't want to say 7, like maybe 5 years ago or something. They just sit on these miniatures for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. That's the interesting thing, I think, because like the release schedule is like intentional, right? So like they're like, we're releasing Fulgrim. Like, okay, cool. And then with so they announced the High Elves for Old World. They also announced some new Necromunda stuff, which looks cool. There's some new Ash Waste guys.
Some new worms.
Yeah, did you also see, Peach, that last week they just released an entire free rulebook for Necromunda?
No?
Yeah. They on Warhammer Community, they released, it's so funny because it's so obvious that the Necromunda team are like, I'd like to use Beastmen. And then the guy that like is in charge of Necromunda is like, no problem. I will just write that we can use Beastmen now. And then it's just written a book. Yeah, like in his gaming group.
We're in charge.
Yeah, we're in charge.
SDS realizes they have free will.
They released a whole free book where you can make Beastmen and Halflings gangs.
Oh, yes. I've heard about the Halflings because someone mentioned it because
I feel like that's your jam.
Rattling video. They were like, I'm going to use this for like the Rattlings and stuff I can use in.
Yeah, so you can. So they've just. But it was the fact. It's the fact. It's just a free rule book.
See, they did that with Warcry. They made all the Warcry rules free and all the compendium sort of like character cards free and the abilities. And I don't think they've ever done that with anything else before.
I mean, like whenever they do like an edition reset, so like for 40k.
Well, yeah, you get like your stand-in.
All the rules are free.
Yeah.
But create an additional book. They kind of did it in a weird way with it. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so reveals, the big news, they've said, High Elves are coming out for All World, which has got people excited.
Flamespire Phoenix is back. I like the Flamespire Phoenix.
Soulblight Gravelords coming out for Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
But the big kind of reveal was the two kind of gossips. It was like, these are the two new armies that we're releasing this year. So Chaos Dwarfs was like, they at the end of the Age of Sigmar, they were like Chaos Dwarfs. And that's been a long time rumor. I think people are pretty pumped about that.
So you don't think Chaos Dwarfs are going to be an Old World thing?
No, it was in the Age of Sigmar section.
How do you feel about that? Because I know you like Age of Sigmar, but I feel like you're a bit more excited about the Old World recently. Is that fair to say?
No, I'm kind of super into Necromunda at the moment, more than anything else.
Okay, but
I'm pumped about all of it. I just like games.
I guess that's why. But I would have thought you'd have been more excited to see Chaos Dwarves in Old World than Age of Sigmar.
No, that is true. That's correct. That's correct.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I would have, mainly because like I got into Chaos Dwarfs with the Alan Bly like Tamra Khan dwarfs. So like
love them. Gotta say, shite hats.
I don't see. This is where I'm like, I know you're a super old hat fan, and I'm like, they look ridiculous. I hate them.
Yeah, they do look ridiculous. You're right, Rob. That's kind of the freaking point.
No.
Are you in the Chaos Dwarf Discord group?
Yes,
it's fantastic,
and the WhatsApp group.
Oh my god.
God.
And also I'm followed by several super passionate people. Changed what I was going to say there. Who are into Chaos Dwarfs who like occasionally pop into my Twitch chat.
It's
like Chaos Dwarfs, and I'm like, where are you? Where do you live?
It's because you just look like a Chaos Dwarf, but very tall.
He's got almost like a fork coming there.
They think you're their god.
He's a llama suit. You look like a llama suit.
He does look like a llama suit.
That's not a compliment. That's not a compliment at all.
You're a llama suit.
Please help me out.
If you want, you can be a Taurus if you want.
Please help me out.
Ewan has your face on a mug.
Yeah,
that's true. So Chaos Dwarfs, how would you both feel about the release of because it's going to be a new faction?
I think they need it.
In Age of Sigmar.
I think the dwarves in Age of Sigmar need a little bit of something else, a little bit of something else. None of them really excite me. The Caradron Overlords, cool. I like them. I like them a lot. But the way I see them is like steampunk good guys.
Steampunk's Sky Pirate.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's sick. I think I would have been more into that theme if it was goblins. Sky Pirate goblins.
Yeah.
Steampunk Sky Pirate goblins is something I would have been.
Very Jules Verne, isn't it?
The Grot Scuttlers is what they're called.
Yeah. I would have been very into
the Grot Scuttlers.
Yeah, they've been written about it. Like they've been written about in the story. There aren't any miniatures, but they have written about.
And I think it's something that,
isn't there? Because in Silver Tower you get Grot Scuttlers.
No, those are
the little spidey ones.
Yeah. But either way, it's something that I've wanted them to flesh out for a really long time, and I think Caradron Overlords now kind of have that, but they just don't have something that really like I'm like, ooh, this is kind of cool. Yeah. And then the Naked Fire Babies. Like all the miniatures kind of look very similar.
The first wave did, but like I think a lot of the
new ones, I like all the little lizards and such that they have.
The Warcry set is my favorite.
The Falcon Flameseekers.
Yeah.
So good.
That is the best.
Oh, that's ones that's got the girly pops in it. Yeah, those are good.
That's the best set.
But I think that having... Because, like, I think that having just, like, another like, we've got so many different types of elves. I still want to know where the shadow elves went. Remember in Silver Tower as well, there was that one mist elf?
Tenebral Shard.
There was two.
Was there two?
Yeah, there's Tenebral Shard and, what was the one called?
Miss Weaver Shaw.
That's the one I
Weaver
mean.
Shaw, sorry,
where
yeah.
I was like so excited to see where that went,
Yeah.
and then they never did anything with it.
Well, I think there was talk when I was there because you've got Malekith who's still rocking around, so he's like the equivalent of Tyrion. And
So he's called
Baratheon.
Malarian now.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Disney
Malarian,
owned Malekith.
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah, he's
That's
a dark
funny.
elf. Dark elf Malekith is a Disney IP.
Wow, well,
from
there you go.
Thor 2.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's Nordic. What do you call it?
Mythology?
Mythology. Thank you.
Yeah, but you can't fight the mouse.
Can't
Yeah.
fight the
You can't
mouse.
find the mouse.
No, you can't find that mouse. But yeah, so there was talk of it because there was going to be like when Anvilgar gets destroyed, there's lots of like the elves, dark elves from that area
Yeah.
rock up as well, and they're working with Marathi.
Either way,
Well,
I'd
there
like-
was
I'd
actually
like
there was
another-
a really funny situation that happened on the Warhammer community site years
yeah?
ago,
Oh, yeah? Oh,
where
yeah?
they accidentally put up the word Umbraneth.
I feel like I remember this happening.
They put it up on Warhammer community. Someone was like, "And the release of the Umbraneth," and everyone was like,
What?
"Oh, what is that?" And obviously, like that would be Shadow,
Yeah.
and then that would tie in with
Yeah.
Ideneth,
Yeah.
Lumineth.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of
Sylvaneth,
sense.
yeah,
And then we've never heard anything since. But I think
Well, the way
I've heard
we-
zero rumors about them. I think that they're probably in a bin somewhere or in a drawer.
Yeah.
They're in a drawer for
Well,
a bit.
as we know, things can take a very long time to be released. Like I say, I'm sure I saw a silhouette of Fulgrim like freaking years
Yeah.
and years and years ago. But I'd like something a little bit different for the dwarves. And I think I love Chaos Dwarves. I think they have really cool themes. They're a little bit more scrungly. And I think that's what I look for in miniature range. Scrungly.
Is that a word?
Yes.
Good. I like it.
Knotted.
Oh no, scrunkily,
Yeah.
scrungly. They're a little bit more like we're a bit like they've got a bit more personality. I
Yeah,
feel,
okay. I'm
and maybe
interested.
that's me doing all the other dwarf ranges a disservice because I'm just not instantly into them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would look forward to it. I think maybe in Age of Sigmar more than Old World because Age of Sigmar is just so fucking creative. Like
Yeah, you can do so much, yeah.
They don't have to make it look a lot like the old ranges, and then they have to release the old ranges along with the new ranges. They can just be like,
And make
yeah,
it
but
fit,
what
yeah.
if we did something really freaky,
Yeah.
and then they can do it. So yeah, I'm happy if they came to Age of Sigmar.
Okay, Peach, what do you think about Chaos Dwarfs?
I love Chaos Dwarfs. It was one of those armies I wanted to get, but certainly the original with the big hats. I have got a model of the one with the big hat somewhere that you can
go.
probably paint if you ever wanted to for,
There you
for a
go.
video.
I have already painted
Oh,
a Chaos Dwarf for an
you
entire
have.
video.
Of course you have.
I love them.
Of course you have.
Love them. Love them.
I did like the Tamarkan.
Tamarkan.
Thank you. I did
Tamarkan.
like the look of those because they fitted nicely with the Hell Cannon guys. But I think it's nice to get some more chaosy adjacent stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some chaos adjacent elves.
Mhm.
And the reason being is they had the only chaos elf ever,
Splinter Fang.
Splintered Fang, and I want to see more of that as well because you've got the chaos dwarfs in there with the Iron Golem.
I hope they don't look like that. He looks awful.
He
But they can
looks-
redo him. They can like.
but
They
he's
can
an
zhuzh
Iron
him up.
Golem dwarf, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it
They
was
can zhuzh
nice
him up.
seeing a dwarf and elf in chaosy kind of garb. I want to see more. I'm a fan of elves, baddie elves. I like baddie elves because they're usually bondage and fighting.
I was about to say, yeah, they have a lot of leather and not
They
a lot
have
of much else.
a lot of leather.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was worried that chaos dwarfs would be down that line, and that it seems that they're not. So
Yeah, no idea what they'll end up looking like. But I think I'm probably
I
going
have
to be
an idea
disappointed.
in my head of what I would do, and it's like lots of smoke, lots of steam, like a little bit steampunk, but like evil chaos, evil chaosy.
Yeah, I think that there's some real good scope for it, especially after the absolutely crazy launch of the Total War release, which when Chaos Dwarfs came to like the old world. But like you say, it's in Age of Sigmar, and Lumineth are not high elves. Similar, but they're not like they're an Age of Sigmarification of
Well,
high
this
elves.
is what I mean. I like feel like I'm more excited to see what they come up with for Chaos Dwarves.
Sorry, I was just chucking in.
Yeah,
I think would be nice is most dwarves tend to be short and stocky. Obviously, short is important.
Human
but they're always
sized
quite
dwarf.
stocky, right? Always super stocky. But like you see things like, I don't know, time bandits and stuff like that. They're not like super like wide and stocky. It'd be nice to have a little more scrawny.
So like what they did with the Cruel Boys for the orcs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly where my head is like,
I thought that. I was
dwarves.
like, what could you do to make it weirder?
Yeah.
And like with Chaos Dwarves, you already have that affiliation with like Hobgrots and stuff like that. So you could definitely go down the kind of like weirder, scrawnier
Like the
avenue.
goblins from Labyrinth.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, come on.
That would be
Come
cool.
on, that would be
Well,
cool.
either way, I think that like was a huge moment, and what was really fun is like about a year ago, I made a video. So what I do at the beginning of every year is I do my predictions for the year.
Yeah.
It's
What
like
are
a video.
your predictions this year?
It's like a video. It's in a video, and then
I have to watch
watch
that
it.
video.
go watch it.
Oh.
But like, so I do it every year, and like last year, I felt like I really knew like what was happening. Like this year, for instance, the Horus Heresy will come out in the summer. Like the new edition of the Horus Heresy.
Is that so?
Yeah, because
It's been a 4-year cycle. Yeah.
3-year cycle. Yes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like a cycle, so you know what's next.
Yeah.
And you can start like telling
Do you think
people.
they're going to do another new game for SDS, something like Battlefleet Gothic or something like that?
See, no,
It's been
I've
a
got
while.
no idea. I think if they were going to do anything, I think there's enough critical mass now that people are asking for Mordheim.
Yes, I
That
agree.
Mordheim would be the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
That would be my
That
guess.
would be that's a good guess. I
And
like
you know
that.
what I'm thinking?
Yep.
I'm thinking like Andy Hoare would probably like
Oh,
take
he'd
that by the
love
bit and just
that.
go full on like he's done with Necromunda.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He would. Ooh, they would love to do more.
Yeah,
I'm
I think they would
sure.
absolutely love to do Mordheim, but obviously I don't know anything about them doing Mordheim.
Same.
So it's just a
Speculate.
full speculation. So yeah, I do my predictions. But last year when I did my prediction, because the first time I did it last year, so beginning of the year I was like, these are my predictions, and some people got
How
really
did they
upset with
go?
me because I was like, Beast of Chaos won't be in Age of Sigmar anymore, and people
What?
were like, and then I posted the video on Reddit, and everyone on Reddit were like, fucking raged at me. Like I was like.
Reddit.
Do you understand
acting
what-
emotional?
I was like, do you know what prediction means? They're like, you're a piece of shit. Why do you want this to happen? I was like,
I predict that you're going to die.
At some point in your life.
By my hand.
just a guess, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Just
so
a silly guy.
Turns out it wasn't a guess, a calculated.
so I got to make a video being like, Chaos Wars are coming out. And I literally started out with, as you know, I'm really humble, but also, fuck you, Reddit. Yeah. And then
As you know, I'm extremely humble.
I went back to all the comments from like a year ago and I just posted it as a reply to each one, that little link to the
you're
video.
Did anyone like?
I don't know. I don't really
That's
know how
the
to.
level of petty I can. That's why we're so compatible. Like literally, that's
was
the level
like,
of petty I am at.
But I don't know if that was the big news because I think everyone still thinks that, like you said, Louise, like maybe it's not Chaos Dwarfs.
I think that the thing that you pointed to is tenuous. However, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
It's not tenuous enough that I'm just like, no, that's not it. But
I need everyone to know in the Chaos Dwarf Discord, Louise does not have the faith. So let's kick her.
I
Let's
do
kick her.
have the faith. I've just got the smarts.
Oh, is that the
too.
time?
Let's kick her.
See you later. See you later.
I got kicked out of therapy and now my own podcast.
No, just
I'll
the Chaos
move my own
Dwarf.
channel soon.
Just the Chaos Dwarf Discord. That's all.
You can't kick me out the Chaos Dwarf.
But the big news was I don't know if it was the big news though because they basically said
It felt
Cathay.
it felt like big news because they had specifically said we are not. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. And only less than 6 months
What
ago.
did they actually say?
Less than 6
let's
months-
not put words in their mouth. What was the actual statement about whether or not they're doing Cathay?
Less than 6 months ago, they posted on the Warhammer community site. They said there are no current plans or ongoing
There you
plans to release either Kislev or Cathay.
Well, they changed their mind.
Right, and then everyone's like,
Kislev.
okay. Like, but they
Did they
had
say
done
Kislev?
Kislev.
But that's like, so what? That's like one of the main ones.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like on the map, and it was extremely fleshed out
It's-
by
it's-
me.
exactly,
It's part
Louise.
of the big factions that's in the war with Magnus Appius.
But
to
they
be
already
fair.
did loads of artwork for it, for Total War. In the
Exactly.
studio, which makes it. And put it on the map. And
Do you need therapy?
I mean, I did. Not anymore. No, I've just learned actually, it was really good for me just to be like, oh, I am too sad. Okay, now I can get on with life. But, okay, so that Cathay, like,
so that was
sure.
the statement that they made.
Interesting.
Then
I didn't know Kislev was also in there as well.
Yes, but to keep
Current
it-
plans, though, a week later, maybe they're changing mind.
Exactly. So what they did was they put a roadmap out, Peach. I don't know if you saw, and it was basically like, these are the books we're currently releasing. These are the next couple of books we're going to release.
And this was like half a year ago?
What, the roadmap?
Yeah.
No, the roadmap was literally like last week.
Oh.
They put out. So they're like, these are the books we've currently just released. We're going to release High Elves and Beastmen next. High Elves are soon, and then it's like going to be Beastmen and Wood Elves. And you're like, okay, cool. And then there was just a box. that was empty, but in it was like
a bit of a like scenery. Oh, we're talking about that roadmap.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and it was like a little bit, and I don't know how people are so clever. Like, it was literally like the silhouette of a rock.
I said it live on air,
Did you?
during
Did
the
you
reveal.
work it out?
As soon as it popped up, I was like, okay. Well, because I know what's coming out. Not as in I know Cathay, but I was like, okay, cool, that's Cathay.
That's
like,
why.
boom.
But it was like, did you see it? It was like the silhouette of a mountain, which was like a 1 centimeter square in the smallest bit of concept art that they posted years ago.
To be fair,
and people worked that out. Yeah.
If, like,
I would never like.
I played
crazy.
the Cathay campaign on Total War on stream on Monday
I was
like, okay, cool, let's find some more stuff out about them. And the loading screen for that campaign is that bit of art.
Oh, was it that?
Yeah.
But so like that's not a coincidence. That's not them just being like, let's just do filler image.
Yeah, like, we'll just do a random box.
You would do like,
yeah,
if you wanted like a random, like, I don't know, maybe they were just like, oh, this is like a random like filler box that we can use. But it's very specifically the Cathay art.
Yeah, the Cathay art, which is cool because it would be the first like new army in like Old World / Warhammer Fantasy Battle since Ogres.
Yeah.
So like it's pretty huge.
Yeah,
and
massive.
what do you both, Louise? You did the map, and they updated the map this week as well, which I told you about.
Stunning!
But what do you think about?
So good, well done too. I think it's Holly that's doing the map now. It's looking so good. Like I did very little of the map at this point. Like there's very little credit I can take for it. And Holly doesn't get enough credit, gets no credit. So I just want to say like, it's looking so good.
How do you feel about the Cathay? Like if Cathay was to be released?
So I was in the studio when they were working on the concept art for Total War, which was very cool. It looks awesome. It looks so cool. They were doing Kislev and I think Cathay at the same time. It's just really cool. Like you've been playing a little bit in Total War. You've got like the jade dragons and stuff. You've got all the bow people. You've got the pretty princess lady that turns into a dragon lady. It's all very, very cool. And like you said, it's like a new thing as well. So they can just go like buck wild with it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I think it's great. And obviously it would be nice if Kislev was also there because they've also got
That's weird.
the snow princess. I just like the princesses.
Zarina Catherine is amazing.
Yeah,
they were doing all the concept art because they were doing it with Total War, right?
Yeah.
Create Assembly,
to release in that, but also it meant that they had everything to just make their own stuff as well.
Exactly. It was very cool. I didn't work on any of the things for Total War, but like I was in the illustration team and I was sneaking little looks at polar bears and stuff, and it was very cool. And I think the Cathay stuff is incredible, and I think it'll get people excited because it's something they've not seen before, which makes the old world feel more like a new game instead of just like, oh, I've already seen that and I wasn't into it 10 years ago, so why would I be into it now? It's like, well, now there's cool new stuff.
I agree. Peach, what do you think?
For Cathay? First of all, I think it's weird that Kislev aren't in the War of Chaos with Magnus the Pious.
Well, not yet.
Well, at the start.
Is it something to do with the timeline?
It's got a very specific reason.
Oh, yeah?
There's currently a war.
Oh, the Russians.
Yeah. Well, at least that's the rumor.
Real
Kislev's
life.
based on Polish and Lithuania, so it's got nothing to do with.
But
Ukraine
it's not
and
as
Russia.
on the nose.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the general scuttlebutt as they say. Why? Maybe that's all.
Maybe they're putting
nonsense.
it on the shelf for now,
and maybe they're just putting it on the shelf because they wanna.
Yeah,
who knows?
Maybe who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
but
they're like Polish wing lancers. That's what they're based off.
Yeah.
So,
love that.
but yeah,
Winged hussars arrive.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Well done.
It's cool. I mean, Big Bear, I guess, riding polar bears.
Big
Love
bear,
polar bear chariots.
big
Love the idea of
big
that. But Cathay, I was always excited about what they'd do with that. In the days when Ogre Kingdoms was actually released, when I was in the store, we were like talking about like what could that look like, and we were coming up with our own ideas and making our own like sort of like almost Chinese-esque
Your OCs.
warriors. Yeah. And it's
Original
like, what are
characters.
dragon monks? Are they actually monks that look like dragons? Or are they monks that believe in dragons? Or do they have wings? Or are they actually dragons and the monks? Who knows? So it was like, having these ideas like half human, half dragon, like in Dragonlance. If you've ever read Dragonlance, you have like these little dragon people with wings, but then you have actual dragons. So in my head, I was like thinking about that. But yes, I'm going off on tangents, but I'm excited.
Have you ever seen the movie The Wall?
Yeah,
War.
It's great.
You would love it. Oh, have you seen?
Matt Damon.
Yeah. I love it. And if anyone's excited for Cathay, is it called The Wall?
Yeah,
The Great Wall.
Is it The Great Wall?
Yeah.
It's basically like it is a fantasy.
It is, yeah.
About like fantasy China getting attacked by fantasy China monsters, but Matt Damon's there.
I love all the different colours of soldier as well. Like they have different jobs.
Yeah, it was good.
The colour of the armour is.
And it's so fun. So if you're excited for Cathay, watch The Great Wall to get excited.
But the thing I think, Peach, that's most relevant about this release, which is why I feel like it's a bigger deal, because Curse Dwarves were always like, they were like a really small faction in Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Then they were like, I thought a great release from Forge World, but Forge World had this kind of weird relationship with the main audience as well. But like with Cathay, like Warhammer Fantasy Battles, or like that it's like with 40k when Votann came out.
Yes,
you're like finally you're doing squats again, or like finally like with Dark Mechanicum, which were expected to come out. You're like or Fulgrim. You're like finally you're doing Fulgrim and you're doing Emperor's Children. Like, you know, everyone's talked about that for 30 or so years. I feel like people talked about Cathay and Nippon and Araby for years. And so it's kind of interesting to see it realized, because I think they don't know. I don't think they understand how big it'll be. I think that's what it is.
Like,
I think they must be in shock about, like, I was going to say how successful it is. That sounds really derogatory, because obviously they know they're making something very good, but they're probably feeling quite humble about it. Like, I want to just shake them and be like, everyone loves Old World. Like, people love it. Like, you're smashing it and people love it and you're very successful.
You know what I'm generally surprised about? Even in the years I worked there, that no one's really just, even like for Age of Sigmar, I guess, is ripe for it. But Dogs of War, just making a random bunch of like one-off character, a unit.
Little dudes.
I mean, it kind of Underworld, you could use Underworlds in any kind of faction. You could like swap factions and stuff like that. But just like, this is, I don't know, Azag's monkey warriors, and any faction can use them and hire them. And it's like Age of Sigmar or something like that.
That's cool.
It just feels like
Dogs of War,
why is that? Because that did so well. And I was like, I remember seeing so many Dogs of War. It's so hard to get hold of Dogs of War because people buy them all the time. It's just so hard to get
I have a
hold
Dogs
of.
of War t-shirt and it's like my favorite t-shirt.
Yeah, it's just, it feels weird that they're just been forgotten to time. Like more
maybe
time,
it'll
I guess.
come back.
And no, I'm sure it will. But and it might be one of those things that's a nostalgic rose-tinted glasses things. From
Should we do? We could all do our predictions for Warhammer next year.
Okay, all right. I've done mine, but let's see what you two have got. What are your predictions?
Okay, my crazy one.
This year or next year?
This year, so like 2025.
Okay.
My crazy one is something wild for Horus Heresy. Like maybe they release the Emperor or something like that, right? Like
seems wild.
Something big, because they've done all the Primarchs now, and now they're doing like Chaos Primarchs, and they're kind of working their way through those. But I think something like kind of like, ooh, that's big. And yeah, I think a new SDS game like Mordheim or something like that, or Battlefleet Gothic. And also they released the Emperor as my crazy one. I have like a normal one and a crazy one.
All right, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Peach, what about you?
I stole your Mordheim one.
That's fine. I mean, we can share that one.
Yay!
I have a prediction, which is a prediction I don't want.
Oh,
but
no.
I have a dread that Warcry is going to get cancelled.
Oh no!
Just the way I've been
it's your
seeing it, getting less and less and
favorite.
less and less support. And
Do you think it'll be replaced by something similar but better?
I've been hearing people saying like Spearhead is the new Warcry. I've not tried Spearhead, but a few other people have
No
said
one's talking
Spearhead
about
is definitely
Spearhead.
not the new Warcry. So be interested to see where that goes. But
That's your...
Spearhead is at least like conceptually a good idea. It's, I walk into a shop and I'm like, hey, me and my friend want to play Age of Sigmar. It's like, cool. You grab a box, off you go and play. Like, that's what you need.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's a great concept. Apart from they don't then say you need like also this map pack, also these cards, and a bunch of other bits.
There's a bit of a bigger barrier to entry that made Spearhead kind of the selling point what it is.
Yeah, whereas like, you know, Warcry felt like a good like deal. You buy a box, we can play these two teams against each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Like as a board game sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Warcry, I mean, ultimately it's a Space Marine company. I don't know if you saw their financials report that came out recently.
They smashed
It's a
it.
Space Marine company. Yeah.
It's just his company Space Marine. They made 20% increased profits in the first 6 months, or last 6 months of last year, which they've been on like a meteoric rise up. And then to like, it's silly. They made so much money from Space Marine 2 launch that
my God.
like they
Smashed
literally
it.
stopped making stuff. They
And now they're just like, can we do that again? Can we do another Space Marine 2? Like
Yeah.
they're trying to, I think, focus. And I'm like, why wouldn't you? Because it's crazy.
Well, because yeah, if you do a Space Marine 2, what you're doing is making money and
Getting
then
new people in.
advertising Space Marines.
And then getting new people to be forever customers instead of just having the same people be forever customers. It's massive.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
I don't think Warcry sales up or down matter, because it's not like the olden days Peach where they're like, if we don't make the money this year, it's not gonna.
I
like,
just think it's going to get canned.
Yeah, it could do.
And the reason being is that often they have like really good game systems or something that's quite fun and good, and it's just like, yeah, we're done with that now. It's like,
I don't know anything that they've canned. Underworlds are still going.
Beastman.
They've just moved them. They've side graded them. Yeah, so I don't know if any games they've canned recently, because I think they just want to I think they just want every type of game you can play.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised there's not an X-Wing equivalent. Oh, they brought out
Battlefleet Gothic maybe will be that. But there is Skytanicus.
Yes,
Skytanicus,
was
yes.
Skytanicus.
Was Skytanicus.
Yeah, no, that's the one they got rid of. They got rid of Skytanicus.
There you go. Yeah, I guess so.
I think they sold 3.
Some of the best graphic design I've seen on the Titanicus
and
really? Skytanicus. Aeronautica. There it is. Aeronautica
I
miniatures.
prefer Skytanicus.
My friend Bax did it, and it was fucking great. He absolutely smashed it.
Right, just so that we don't overrun,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to just catch us on our main topic, an hour and a half in.
Oh my God. Do we have time? Is it an hour and a half? I thought it's been 2 hours.
No,
Oh my
it's only been
goodness.
an hour and a half, but it'll be quick. So basically, we're all attending a ton of conventions in the next 3 months. So I was just wondering, as a kind of, so we are going to ChillCon.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a Juggz seminar.
Yeah.
We're all going to Adepticon.
A couple of days after
I'm
ChillCon.
gonna
A couple of days after.
Sick in my mouth.
Yeah, so we're all going to Adepticon. We're also going to Salute, where we'll be selling goblins and other
And then we'll
stuff.
probably just go to Games Expo for funsies.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
So loads of stuff. So I was just wondering, out of all of those things, what is it you would like?
What do I want to get from it?
Yeah, what do you want to get from it? And also a question to people who are watching, are you intending to join us for any of those things? Come hang out with us.
Come say hi.
Come say hi. What are you expecting? Peachy, what do you reckon?
So I'm really looking forward to Adepticon if all goes well, and I'm eager it will.
Yep.
Childcare is the big thing. It's like trying, because Liz works quite early.
Mm-hmm.
And gets back a little bit late. So getting Charlie dropped off to school and back.
Yeah.
No one in the right mind wants to go up at 5:30 in the morning to pick up my child.
Absolutely
And bring it
not.
to their
Love your
random house.
child wouldn't be me.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That's too early. So we're looking at ways of trying to get that resolved. But the reason I'm really looking forward to going to Adepticon is to see lots of American patrons that I've not had a chance to engage with and talk to.
Because American patriots.
Yeah. Because there's so
Yikes.
many of my patrons are in the States, and I've not had a chance to physically see them in the flesh and chat to them. So hopefully a bunch of them will be there. There's Paul Hicks and Andy Hobday that own Futsal Miniatures. They're going over. And there's a really cool friendly local game store in Milwaukee that they've told me to go to. So I'm going to try and take a trip down there.
Amazing.
With them.
I didn't think there was anything in
cool.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, apparently you could tag along. Might have to
A lot of
Uber it
lakes.
all over, but
Yeah, I always love being the what is it? The third wheel, the wife. You brought that other guy.
More wrong.
But yeah, so
More
they said
wrong.
you ought to come and have a look, and it's like a really big gaming store with lots of
cool.
gaming rooms and like a shop and stuff like
Peachy,
that.
will you come to medieval times with us?
Oh no, Peach, you are coming to medieval times.
Medieval Times.
Do you not know what medieval times is?
Is this the one that's like Excalibur in
Yes.
Yes, but
Las
it's
Vegas?
a restaurant, and they will just, like a buxom maid will just give you a whole chicken, and you can watch some guys jousting.
Can I be the guy jousting?
No.
Absolutely, maybe.
Absolutely,
Absolutely, maybe.
There's a lot of healthy safety
I
concerns
will
behind
book
the
us
scenes.
front row seats, and we will be the. I am packing my chainmail
Yes, I'm packing
just
my
in
plate armor.
case. Oh my gosh!
Again, I'd like you to know that we should not be taking those things to America, especially as
I don't know. We might need to.
Might need to.
Maybe.
But you are coming to medieval times with us,
that sounds great.
100%.
Okay, well, I mean that's an obvious trip. Okay, Louise, what are you
Kind
excited
of the
about?
same. I'm more like, it's hard for me to get to the point where I'm excited to be there, because a part of me believes that I will die before I get there because I'm scared of flying.
Don't forget the pregnant babies.
50
Pregnant babies.
Pregnant babies.
Pregnant ladies.
I was trying to explain this to Val yesterday. I was like, if I do travel with you just would not pick up a newspaper and it was like 50 pregnant nuns died.
Classic.
Like, you just,
Why are the nuns pregnant?
God, by God, like, you know what
It's
I
a
mean?
bit of
Like,
a zoo situation.
literally, like 50 pregnant nuns and Taylor Swift died. Like,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't happen. Either way.
I mean,
so
it
like,
worked with Buddy Holly and what's the other guy?
I don't get the reference.
Yeah, and good, and we don't need to, Louise.
Okay.
Because what he's talking about is a story that we heard once, not a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm kind of. Do I need to Google this?
No.
I'm making
Avoid
up
that and avoid Amelia Earhart.
was a
None of
TV
which
show.
are important.
It was a TV show.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm kind of struggling to get my headspace into the why are you looking at each other like that?
Okay, no problem. Carry on. Nothing, carry on.
Anyway, so I'm kind of struggling to get my headspace into being excited for being there, because I am absolutely terrified of getting there. But I think once I'm there, the thing I'll be excited about is A, not being dead, and B, just seeing, like, I just want to, it's just like where everyone goes, right? I'll get to see people that I like. Eric's gonna be there from Eric's Hobby Workshop, and he's my friend. And then Goobertown from Goobsies, little Goobs.
And
I want to arm wrestle Goobertown.
That is a
and
weird.
Casey as well from eBay Miniature Rescue. I want to see Casey.
I think
Casey.
like Black Magic Craft is going.
Oh, yeah.
All of our internet friends are going to be there, or a lot of our internet friends are going to be there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing my internet friends. And I don't know, maybe bumping into people, that'd be nice. I get to go hang out with Pro Acryl and see those guys, which is so nice. And I'll just be so happy if I actually get there.
So if you did see the comment from Cygnus Maximus in last episode,
No.
he said he used to work with planes, and there's so many redundancies within redundancies that when plane crashes are reported, it's because it's so rare that it shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So it is the safest way to travel.
I am an up in the sky.
I mean, there's not much you can fucking do about it when you're falling, though, is there?
I don't think you're helping.
Oh my God. So I think through talking about this so much, I've managed to get into like Fear of Flying TikTok algorithm. And there was the most useless lassie who was like, hey, Hans, this one's for you if you're really scared of flying. First of all, did you know that when you're flying, the pilot is actually the most qualified person to fly that plane? And I was like, the fuck are you saying? Like, of course he fucking is. And then it was like, so she kept going and she kept saying just ridiculous shit. Yeah. Like that, clearly she had never met someone who was scared of flying. Because it was like, no one playing, like, that was it. She was like, now I know there's been 6 or 7 plane crashes this 1 week. And then she showed images of the horrific plane crashes that she was like, but actually, if you trust in God, everything will, and I'm like,
you know what you do need to do? If there is free fall.
My God, Peach.
Get out, just jump out, move your arms faster.
Yeah, that's it.
just like the planes go down.
Just move your arms faster, you'll be fine.
But like, my issue is, like, I have a cousin, Stephen, who's walked away from about 4 car crashes. Like,
yeah, he's not in a plane though, is he?
Yeah, exactly.
I know this is going to sound really dumb, but
that's your whole forte, I think we've established.
No, I can teach dumb people. That's very different.
King of the dumb.
King of the dumbs. But like, you know how you're allowed your on the bag that you can take on the plane.
Yeah.
Is that allowed to just be a parachute?
I don't know why they don't issue parachutes. It's so
because it's too much room. That's what I'm saying.
No, because it's fucking ridiculous. It's like, you're falling out the sky. Here's your swimming device.
Yeah, I think the problem is if you did take a parachute on, and then you were going down, you were like, oh, excuse me, I'm just going to get my parachute. I think people would fight you for the parachute.
There'll be
but then
on
everyone
the plane.
has a parachute. You don't, you mean just you have a parachute?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You don't tell anyone. You're just
then you'd feel more comfortable. I'm like, Louise, don't
then
want
it's
to
really
patch your
obvious when
parachute.
you're buckling it up and you've got a big handle.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's ridiculous that they're like, you're falling out the sky. Here's your swimming device.
Yeah, no, well, that's only if you're going in the sea.
Particularly concerned about that right now.
I am a terrible swimmer.
Oh, actually,
like if I land,
that would be. I think landing in the sea is my least problem. It's the staying in the sea and not dying because I can't swim.
Quite hard. I'd take you guys. You could get on my back.
Yeah, cool.
I'd be like, fine.
Should be like a turtle.
Yeah, I'm like a turtle.
I think I would be worried about landing in the jungle. I'd be like, it's quite hot. I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
You hate that.
Yeah, like Predators in Predator from the movie Predator would be a problem.
I just find some water and swim away from them.
Yeah, that's
what was
true.
if it's just a little pond?
What if it's alligators?
Not my pond. I'm safe. I'm swimming away.
We're just there with our flares. We're like, are you finished? Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, I think it's really exciting. I think it's going to be pretty tiring.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The sheer number of places and things that we're doing in the next 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
But actually quite cool. And hopefully loads of people want to join us and see and hang out and stuff.
Also, I want to make this very clear.
Because we're also doing salute and stuff that's here.
Only lame people die in plane crashes.
Lame plane.
Not sure you want to say that.
I'm just saying it'll be really funny. It's like that. What's that thing where it's like
those astronauts?
oh my God,
pussies.
No. I meant, what's that clip where it's like, not Sharon Osbourne, is it Kelly Osbourne?
Yeah.
Where she says something like, and she's like, oh no, insofar as, I need to show you that. That's me right now.
Okay.
I meant, I'm trying to make it so that we can do a really funny edit where, like, if I do die in a plane crash, at least it's really good content.
Oh.
Because it's like, I'm like, oh, only losers die in plane crashes. And it's like, wobbity wop, 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 wop. And at least it's like funny content.
And then
so
my wife's like, I married a loser.
Oh. No, we should know that's not true.
And then Charlie's like, my dad was a loser. I was like, oh.
No!
This is what you've done.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. That obviously isn't true. You're probably not a loser if you died in
It's like Charlie's just like scraping his feet
this
to
is
school
it.
every
Like,
morning.
literally.
And was like, oh, look, your dad was a loser. Oh,
Yeah, it's
poor
rough for Charlie.
Yeah.
It's a rough timeline.
You didn't think this through, did you?
No, because no, I double jinxed it.
But
I'm
thankfully, none of that's going to happen and it'll be fine. Anyway.
It'd be really funny if it didn't know and you just said that.
I mean, it honestly feels like this podcast is a plane crash now. So, hello everyone. Thanks for listening. We're about to go record our Patreon podcast, which we put up every week.
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to say
What are
thanks
we going to talk about on Patreon?
It's a secret. You'll have to watch it to find out.
It's probably
Dun, dun, dun.
juicy. Our actual
Spicy.
Warhammer predictions.
Yeah, the things we actually know are coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come check it out on the Patreon.
Yeah,
I don't know
anyway,
anything.
so thanks everyone for tuning in and watching Juggz. Hope you've really enjoyed it. Loads of love. Thanks to Louise and Peach. They're the best.
You're the best.
See you guys
We're
soon.
off. Bye.
You didn't see him last week, so you get to see him now.
Bye.